Maybe this is the permission you've been waiting for. To finally give up what no longer fits. Not in a dramatic way, not in defeat. Just a quiet decision to stop pretending that every battle deserves your energy. You've been told that quitting means failure. That persistence is always a virtue. That those who never stop pushing will eventually win. But here's the truth. Most victories are just stories told by people who never paused long enough to ask if the game was still worth playing. There's this strange obsession with endurance. Endure pain, endure chaos, endure meaningless routines until they somehow become purpose. The world keeps whispering, hold on a little longer, but it never says what for. Every morning, you drag yourself out of bed with a mind already tired. You look in the mirror and perform, like an actor rehearsing a role you no longer believe in. You repeat affirmations, motivational quotes, and fake smiles. And somehow, society calls that strength. But maybe strength isn't always about holding on. Maybe it's knowing exactly when to stop, so something new can begin. Giving up doesn't always mean defeat. Sometimes it means alignment. It means your body has been whispering enough, and your mind finally listens. It means a system that's been running on survival mode for too long finally decides it's ready to restart. Properly this time. Because every human has limits, though most spend years trying to prove otherwise. People love talking about boundaries, but secretly admire those who burn out gracefully. They praise resilience, but disrespect rest. They say take your time, then punish anyone who slows down. It's an endless loop, a worship of suffering disguised as ambition. And in that loop, survival starts to look like purpose. Adrenaline starts to feel like meaning. Exhaustion becomes dedication. But deep down, you know it's all just noise. So maybe giving up isn't the end of the road. Maybe it's the moment the illusion breaks, and a real direction finally appears. Every system needs resets, even machines. Every storm needs silence to clear. But when a human needs a pause, the world calls it weakness. Maybe the real weakness is never stopping at all. Never cooling down. Never saying, I need space to breathe. There's a certain peace that comes when everything slows down. When the noise fades into a quiet hum. When the urge to fix everything turns into one simple truth. Not everything needs fixing. Some things aren't meant to be repaired. Some things were meant to be released. Not every dream deserves saving. Not every relationship means growth. Not every job builds character. Sometimes letting go is what brings life back. The world will call that cynical. But cynicism is often realism with a scar. Giving up doesn't destroy hope. Sometimes it clears space for a better one. It's like cleaning a room that's been filled with dust for too long. You can't breathe in there anymore. But everyone keeps saying, it's fine. Most people confuse persistence with identity. They keep doing the same thing because stopping would mean admitting it was all meaningless. But meaning doesn't come from constant motion. Meaning comes from stillness. Long enough to notice where you actually are. Stillness feels strange because it exposes lies. The fake urgency. The fake dreams. The fake voices that whisper you're almost there. They all start sounding ridiculous once you stop running. Maybe that's what giving up really means. Not surrendering to failure, but surrendering the illusion that everything must make sense. That every pain must teach something. That every ending must feel meaningful. Some pain just passes. Some endings just happen. And that's okay. The world loves redemption stories. Everyone wants the comeback moment. But maybe there's dignity in walking away quietly, choosing peace instead of performance, the kind of peace that heals in silence, the kind that doesn't need applause. Talesverser, maybe existence isn't always a test of endurance. Sometimes it's a series of exits waiting for courage to take them. There's beauty in release. When the fight softens, your body remembers how to breathe again. When ambition quiets down, life starts to feel real again. People think giving up kills motivation, but often it kills illusion instead. It clears the space for something real to grow. Something that actually fits who you've become. Things change. Emotions shift. Humans outgrow their own expectations. That's not failure. That's transformation. So maybe it's not about quitting anything. It's about redefining what deserves your effort. Releasing what's been draining your spark. Letting peace exist without needing to earn it. Peace doesn't need trophies. It doesn't need applause. It arrives quietly, when your mind finally stops arguing with itself. The irony is, most people only find peace when they stop trying to deserve it. When the body relaxes. When the mind stops negotiating with exhaustion. That's when truth finally steps in. Uninvited but undeniable. And that truth is simple. You can stop now. You can stop chasing what doesn't belong to you. You can stop proving your worth to noise that was never listening. And maybe, for once, that's not weakness. That's wisdom. Let the others keep running. Let them chase their polished versions of success. Let them glorify exhaustion and call it legacy. Because the ones who pause, they're the ones who see. They see the pattern for what it really is. A loop built on fear of stillness. A loop that tricks people into thinking motion equals meaning. But real meaning hides in the quiet corners most never reach. So if the world feels heavy, and your story doesn't make sense anymore, maybe that's not a crisis. Maybe that's clarity. Because when there's nothing left to prove, everything becomes visible again. Giving up isn't collapse. It's correction. It's your mind realigning with truth. It's your body remembering it's human. So yes, maybe you can give up now. Not because everything's lost, but because not everything was meant to be carried this far. And when the world keeps shouting, "Don't quit," there's power in whispering back, "I'm finally starting over." And that's a wrap, my dear friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, stay awesome.